Under the pale autumn sky of Washington, D.C., cameras roll as Marine One idles on the South Lawn. The familiar figure of U.S. President Donald Trump steps out of the White House, walking toward the waiting helicopter. It's a moment both routine and remarkable. The Commander-in-Chief heading for his second medical checkup this year, under the scrutiny of the press corps and a curious nation. Every frame tells its own story. The brisk stride, the formal salute to the Marine Guard, the distant hum of the rotors, and the short wave to photographers before boarding. According to the official pool feed, the destination is Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, a place etched in the history of U.S. presidencies. But this trip carries its own undercurrent of speculation. It comes 3 months after the White House confirmed that President Trump had been diagnosed with a vein condition, following weeks of speculation about bruising on his right hand and swelling in his legs. At the time, officials described it as a manageable vascular issue, but offered little further detail. Now, with renewed questions about the president's physical resilience, today's visit has once again ignited discussion across Washington's political and media circles. The White House statement released earlier in the morning emphasized that this is a routine and pre-scheduled examination. Yet aides privately concede that the optics matter. Every movement of a sitting U.S. president, from the briefest walk across the South Lawn to a step onto Marine One, becomes a symbol of stability, power, and continuity. Outside the West Wing, correspondents gather under umbrellas, shouting questions that go unanswered. The footage supplied by DC Pool shows Trump maintaining his characteristic expression, a mix of determination and impatience, as he boards the aircraft. For the press, these are seconds of pure interpretation. Is this a confident leader heading for a checkup, or a weary president managing an undisclosed condition? To understand the significance of this visit, one must look beyond today's 38 seconds of imagery. The president's health has always been both a medical and political question. In American history, moments like these, from Eisenhower's heart attack to Reagan's surgery, Bush's colonoscopy and Biden's neurological scans, often become measures of transparency, public trust, and national steadiness. The October 10th, 2025 trip to Walter Reed falls into that continuum. It's Trump's second checkup of the year, following a spring examination that drew attention after journalists noticed discoloration on his hands during a televised event with veterans. The official explanation was a minor vein inflammation, common among older adults, but critics argue that the White House has been selectively transparent about his overall health. Today's footage therefore operates as both documentation and message. In it, the administration projects normalcy, the president moving independently, climbing aboard Marine One without assistance, and departing for what aides insist is a comprehensive yet routine medical evaluation. Sources within Walter Reed describe preparations as standard presidential protocol, involving cardiovascular imaging, venous scans, and mobility assessment. The hospital, one of the most secure medical facilities in the United States, has treated every president since Franklin Roosevelt and is designed for both clinical precision and political discretion. By mid-afternoon, the motorcade is expected to move from Joint Base Andrews to the secure presidential suite on Walter Reed's North Campus. Reporters stationed outside will wait for updates, not from the doctors, who rarely brief directly, but from White House Press Secretary Stephanie McCormick, whose short written statements are carefully worded to avoid speculation. As one senior aide told reporters, the president remains in full control of his schedule and duties. Yet the mere scheduling of a second major checkup within a single year inevitably raises questions. Health transparency has long been a sensitive issue for Trump, whose medical records during previous administrations were often summarized rather than detailed. In Washington's fevered climate, medical updates become political events. Late-night talk shows dissect the president's gait. Cable pundits zoom in on hand movements and speculate about circulation. Online platforms amplify hashtags like #Trump checkup and #Walter Reed visit, feeding a cycle of rumor and rebuttal. At the same time, Trump's supporters frame the visit differently, as evidence of accountability and discipline. He's doing what every responsible leader should do, a senior Republican strategist told. It's routine preventive care. The only people making this dramatic are the ones who can't stand to see him looking healthy. Indeed, the White House communications team appears intent on shaping that narrative. Instead of secrecy, they've invited coverage, pool cameras, photographers, and even a live feed of Marine One lifting off. The goal is visual reassurance, a strong leader walking briskly, managing his health proactively. At Walter Reed, preparations mirror a military operation. The president will undergo a full set of tests, including cardiovascular imaging, Doppler scanning for venous reflux, and comprehensive blood analysis. The entire process is expected to take 4 to 5 hours. While these details have not been officially confirmed, sources close to the medical unit suggest that specialists from Johns Hopkins and the National Institutes of Health have been consulted. Historically, presidential medical trips are steeped in symbolism. The helicopter departure isn't merely a logistical necessity, it's a ritual of continuity. The salute, the walk, the board-up gesture, each element crafted for reassurance, a reminder that the office remains steady even when questions arise about the man occupying it. Later in the day, the president is expected to return to the White House without a press stop, though aides haven't ruled out a brief wave to cameras upon landing. Medical updates will likely arrive through written memos, the preferred mode for health disclosures in recent years. Behind the scenes, Trump's closest advisors remain vigilant. The administration is entering a high-stakes phase. The Middle East ceasefire negotiations that have dominated global headlines, the pending budget standoff in Congress, and the upcoming Nobel Peace Prize deliberations, where, ironically, Trump's name has surfaced amid praise from Russian President Vladimir Putin. Any hint of weakness, physical or political, could carry ripple effects across these arenas. For now, the optics dominate the message. As Marine One rises above the Capitol, the shot widens to reveal the Washington Monument in the distance, a tableau of authority and vulnerability intertwined. Beneath it, the nation watches, once again reminded that the presidency is both human and institutional, fragile and enduring. In the hours ahead, journalists will parse every word of the forthcoming health statement. Will it confirm the earlier diagnosis? Will it mention new findings? Or will it, like many presidential medical notes before it, conclude simply, the president remains fit to discharge the duties of his office? Whatever the outcome, this short sequence, just 38 seconds of footage, captures a moment far larger than itself. A leader confronting the scrutiny of both medicine and politics, a nation projecting its anxieties onto a single walk across a lawn, and a press corps chronicling every step. Back in Washington, traffic resumes, the press pens its headlines, and Marine One fades into the horizon. For all the speculation that surrounds a visit like this, one truth remains. Power in America is often measured not in policy or speeches, but in images. And today's image is that of a president who, despite every headline, still walks alone toward the rotor blades into the wind under the gaze of history.
Mr. President,